Hey friends, this is Tracy Brown, and my team and I of non-diet dietitians provide trauma-informed care so that you can feel safer in your skin. And I apologize for being kind of away for a little bit. Honestly, my whole crew here, we've kind of been under the weather, so we're all kind of coming out of that, as well as I've just been working on some projects, and that requires more research, more time, more writing. So that's what I've been doing, making slide decks, all the things. So if you haven't been over to the website in a while, it's tracybrownrd.com, and if you go to the services tab, you'll see that there's a becoming your own nutrition expert, like little kind of mini class. And then we've gotten lots of good feedback on that so far. And it's not really meant to tell you what to do and what to eat, but rather how, again, to assess where you are in this process and what might be your barriers to making, honestly, very agency choices with how you're going to navigate not only your recovery process, but also any kind of health concern process. So that one's been out there for a little bit and kind of it's done, and people are utilizing that, which I'm excited about. The other thing I'm working on is an immune health project. Because frankly, our bodies have been through it the last 4+ years. And I've just seen the effects on people I know personally, people we work with, and it's makes me mad, makes me sad. And so there's got to be something that there's some things we can do that we all have access to do. And so we'll be talking about that and those teachings as well. So that's what I've been kind of busy working on, and I'm excited to see you guys get access to that soon. So anyway, this is a part of that. So this is more of an encouragement video. If you're out there and you're struggling with feeling like you're just kind of spinning, or also just kind of feeling with your recovery process, you're kind of floating, like I'm not dieting. Excuse me, still getting over something here. If you're feeling like in your recovery process, you're just kind of floating, like it's not as bad as it used to be, but you're not where you're wanting to be, and you don't feel that much momentum. Maybe even, in fact, you feel a little stuck, or maybe you're feeling caught up in a proverbial tornado where it's like I'm doing things I don't want to be doing, but my mind is going so fast, and my body feels revved up that I don't know how to slow it down to reach for and take in the care I need, and I don't know how to slow down to do the things I need to do and make space for that. So this video is an encouragement, one, to acknowledge that if you're going through that, to not call yourself names about it, like not motivated, lazy. If there's any negativity or judgment happening about it, let's stop that right this second and actually get really clear about what is maybe the bigger picture as to why things are feeling so hard. Not just like your personal bigger picture of like, working through, past overwhelming circumstances, trauma, whatever, current here and now stressors, and maybe how you're negotiating that, but the bigger picture of what's happening in our world, worries, that we're human beings and we can't help but maybe we are neurocepting what's happening around us, and it takes a lot of unblending from that to be able to orient to what I'm going to talk to you about right now. So if you're feeling like I had to make some notes because I know some of these concepts can be a little nebulous, but one, notice if you feel like you're floating or you're spinning around doing what you need to do. And this can result from, could be, whatever's going on in your nervous system. It could be from some issues maybe with, attention or focus or whatever it is. Whatever it is, though, we want to acknowledge that what's going on in our systems right now. So that's number one. And I'm not here to really give you a lot of advice of like what you should do about that, but more, can we recognize that we are all trying to orient to some kind of comfort or stability, but if it's the stability and comfort of what we're used to that doesn't really do us any good long term, can we orient to what else might be good, right? And so here are two things that I'm going to give you and I know this seems not, what does this have to do with food? But but a lot of times the things that trip us up with doing what we know we need to do with food, meaning simply a little bit of meal planning, getting groceries, having, easy, medium, and maybe a little more time intensive things to do with our food, for example, to get nourished, to feel satiated, to feel grounded, to make progress in our recovery. Sometimes it takes these other things first to be able to even access that mobilization. To do those things, we need mobilization. If you feel like you're spinning or you're kind of checked out a bit or numb or kind of comfort seeking and it's not getting you anywhere, I would say there's two things that we need to allow ourselves to have. One is just this grace of today and maybe every day right now might be just one foot in front of the other. I don't have to like it. It doesn't have to be exciting, but it's what is basically the next right thing, in whatever recovery efforts. Or if it's, I have a lot more free time right now and I don't do good with free time, or the weekends are hard with food or whatever. I end up just kind of spinning or floating along, and then meal didn't get made, house didn't get clean, whatever your hope was, right? Is sometimes we have to just block our time, and we do a lot of that work with people these days of time blocking and reminder setting, and here are the 4 things that it takes to make this meal. Keep this on hand at all times, no matter if you feel like it or not, basically. And these 4 things make this meal that you always kind of like, that's satiating, that's calorie replete, meaning it's enough food, and it's enough variety, and it's relatively good enough, and it covers all the main nutrition bases, in terms of your fat, protein, and carbs, right? The other thing about this is if you do find yourself kind of what's the point? I think it's really important to actually start to orient to, what is the point? And let yourself dream a little bit. If we don't have a vision of where we're going, why you're recovering, what you want to see go really great, it could be as simple as I can go to a restaurant and order whatever's there. And maybe have some mental thought into it in terms of maybe some variety or whatever, but mostly for the most part, you're choosing a food choice because it sounds like the most satisfying option. You're picking that, and you're not really looking to others or what they think about it or what they're doing to make it okay. That's something you can do early on in your recovery. But if your big dream here is one of those things, then make that a part of your day. Is take some time to I'm doing this hard thing right now with my food, whether it's I'm gonna have this much of this thing at around this time so that I don't undercut myself, or I don't set myself up later for deprivation driven eating. I'm gonna do the non-exciting thing now, not because I'm punishing myself, but because I want that bigger dream, right? And I think we have to kind of look out there a little bit, as well as be present now time, to be able, when we can orient to the good or orient to the good possibility, we're more likely to stick with this because we know that there is purpose and longer term, even pleasure with some of this now time, discomfort or doing something new that's not comfortable, or maybe even giving you a lot of pleasure right now. So that's my hope to you today with this video. I know I kind of went all over the place, but I'm just noticing, and I just want to speak to and validate what I see people struggling with, is kind of feeling kind of lost sometimes in what they're doing or supposed to be doing, because they're kind of just merging with the mood of whatever's around them, or they're really in a spin of part of me wants to get better and parts of me don't, and feeling really caught with that, and just forgetting to validate that that's part of the process, that there's going to be, what's the right word? It's normal that there is some disgruntlement in the system, that you're not doing what you always do, even though it's holding you back in life. But there's a little, I wouldn't say there's a war, but there's, wait, what are you doing? And that's not going to be okay. What if you do? there's going to be that activation. That doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. All right. And then we need to orient to what is good and where we are going to actually help us unblend from that and not get too caught up in it, which makes us go back to what we know. And then you continue to spin. So I hope this is helpful. It's a lot. I hope you took notes, and go back and maybe re-watch this and take some more notes to maybe help you make sense of what you're going through. And I will be writing a little bit more about this. So one of my goals right now for us all is, 1 to 2 videos a week, but also a little bit of a longer written out post so we can kind of summarize or expand upon a little bit what was happening. I guess both expand and summarize what happened in this video, that you can have both your auditory learning engaged and your visual, and then also your visual with the writing as well. So I hope that helps all of y'all who learn different kinds of ways and you put it into practice. Like, a lot of this stuff doesn't matter so much if you just read it or hear it, but we're not taking action. That's the key, is your action to what you're learning. So, and if you're noticing you have barriers to that, that's kind of, where I'm hoping some of this also provides a key as well, is to orient to the good. If you need more co-regulation to do that, then obviously just reach out. So we'll be happy to help. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.